how wanting to understand your problem doesn't help you in overcoming it. Today, I want to share with you a metaphor and insights from our last psilocybin session in order to help you understand what else you need in order to overcome a problem or an inner blockage. Many people believe that understanding their problem is the key in order to overcome it. I used to believe that myself. I love analyzing my problems. I love thinking about them. However, I also know now, and I knew it before my last psilocybin session, that we need something else in order to overcome it. However, my session gave me beautiful images to work with and to remember on a daily basis what I need to do in case I get caught up too much in thinking about my problem. When we think about our problems and we analyze them, we create a story. And each time we deep analyze our problem or think about it more and more, we really start to believe the story we tell ourselves. And we really start to identify with that story about ourselves. And those stories can be completely different. You know, it can be like, my mother didn't love me enough and that's why I can't be successful. Or my mother was a narcissist and that's why I can't have a happy relationship, or I struggle in relationships. So it can also be those stories like, oh, before being successful, I need to do X, Y, Z, or if I need to do X, Y, Z before having a happy life or for being able to be fulfilled. So we create all these stories that hold us back in moving forward in life. And to me, when it comes to a topic I've been struggling with over the last years, it always felt like I know so much about my problem now because I've analyzed it so deeply and from so many different perspectives. And you know that maybe about a topic you are moving through since quite a while, that you might have read books about it, you might have done therapy about it, you might have done coaching about it or following courses about it, but you still have the feeling there's this last step missing. And that's how I felt, like there's this last step missing, there's this key missing. And I've been looking for that key for quite a while. And I've been putting a lot of effort in finding that key. And I've been blocked really by not moving forward. So I've been blocked by not having this key. And I always told myself, or maybe it was an unconscious feeling, that needing this key in order to open this door, to take this last step, and then I would be able to move through it with ease. And then everything would become easier. Like I wouldn't have any uncomfortable feeling when moving forward. And I realized many people think that. Many people have the feeling that when they have this key, when they find that last piece of a puzzle, or when they really understand all parts of their problem, they can move through it with ease. And yes, we often do it with thinking and how we can't find a key. So I want to take you onto this little metaphor. In my last psilocybin session, I was walking through this forest looking for this key to solve my problem. And obviously, while I was looking for this key, I was thinking about my problem and I realized, suddenly when I started thinking about the problem, this house appeared next to me. And the more deeply I was thinking about the problem and about the different parts and the different aspects and looking from it from different perspectives, the more detailed my house became, like in this vision. Like the house suddenly had different rooms and I could move from room to room, like from one aspect of the problem to another. And the house then suddenly started to be furnitured, like the more detailed I was thinking about the problem. And I like to compare it, our thinking brain, I like to compare it with a soap bubble machine. A soap bubble machine produces bubbles, and those bubbles are our thoughts. They appear and they disappear. You know, the bubble machine spits them out and a few seconds later they burst again. And that's what our thoughts do. You know, they come and go. However, sometimes a thought really grabs our attention and it feels like we grab that thought and we make it really big and we enter this bubble. And in this bubble, we find like this scene, like a theater play or a movie. I like to think about it like a snow globe, you know, where you have those scenes in it and you just enter this and you fully engage with that. You fully identify with that thought or with that story in it. And so that was what I was doing in my psilocybin session. I was being in the forest, looking for this key, creating this house. And then suddenly a voice whispered, forget about the key. There's no key. Just move forward. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I got really irritated. And obviously my attention was grabbed by a different thought and was like, what do you mean? The key is not important or there is no key? And I looked back around to look at the house because I was thinking, yes, like, but I need that key for that house. And the house was gone. There was just a forest around me, like there'd never been a house. And at that moment, I realized, this house was an illusion. The whole story I created in my mind was an illusion. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the problem is an illusion. Your pain is real. And your suffering is really real. Your emotions are real. But the story you created around that is an illusion. The story is not real. It's something you told yourself over and over again, and you started to believe that, you started to identify with this. But the identification is not the truth, and the story is not the truth. So what did I do with this message? I moved forward in this session, in this vision I had, and I was confronted with this emotion of fear. And there was frustration too about why it had taken me so long. The frustration about having been blocked for so many years. There was anger about that. And then there was also insecurity about, or the fear about taking the wrong turn, taking the wrong road. And this is what this key is about. So this key is not about opening a door and just moving through with ease and moving forward without any uncomfortable feelings. Overcoming the problem has everything to do with feeling your emotions, with feeling this fear. And then you will feel how empowering these emotions can be when you allow yourself to be guided by your emotions. And you will start to see all the possibilities. And you will start to understand that there's no wrong turn to take. It's impossible to take a wrong turn. So I invite you to just try to overcome the problem by feeling your emotions. And do not judge yourself. And do not judge your emotions. Just be present with them and let yourself be guided by them. Thank you for listening and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.